Ever wonder how stuff gets from, I don't know, the other side of the world right to your door? Like, how does that even happen?
Right. We take it for granted, but it's actually a pretty complex system.
It is. And today we're going deep on a piece of that, shipbroking.
That's right, shipbroking. Not exactly, the first thing you think of when you think global trade, but
But it's essential. I mean, we're talking about moving millions of tons of cargo across oceans.
absolutely. We're going to be looking specifically at KTB, a company that's been in this business for a while, doing some pretty interesting things.
Yeah, their services are fascinating. And it all starts with, I guess, this question. What is shipbroking anyway?
So, in a nutshell, it's about connecting the dots, basically. You have cargo owners who need to move stuff, and you have ship owners with, well, ships.
So you're basically like a matchmaker.
Kind of, but there's a lot more to it. I mean, KTB doesn't just find a ship and say, okay, go.
Right, there's got to be more to it.
There is. They handle two main areas: chartering, which is like renting out the ships, and then the operational side, making sure the whole journey runs smoothly.
Gotcha. So like contracts and logistics and all that.
Exactly. And they're really good at both. When it comes to chartering, they've got this strong reputation for what's called spot chartering.
Spot chartering, what's that?
Basically, it's like you need a ship right now for a one-time shipment, like an emergency situation or an unexpected opportunity pops up.
Ah, okay, so that makes sense. They're the go-to for those quick turnaround situations.
Yeah. But they're also experts in contracts of affreightment, which are these longer-term agreements.
So instead of just one-off shipments, this is more like, hey, we'll move a certain amount of your stuff over, say, the next year.
Precisely. And these are crucial for businesses that deal with, large volumes of cargo consistently.
Makes sense, like, I guess, oil companies, right? Or anyone shipping bulk commodity.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking things like crude oil, chemicals, biodiesels even. KTB's got a lot of experience with all of that.
So it sounds like they handle way more than just, slapping a for rent sign on a ship.
Absolutely. And even within chartering, there's different types. Like, think about renting a car. You can rent it for a day or you could lease it for a year.
Right, so I guess it's kind of similar with ships.
Exactly. KTB does what's called time charters, where a client essentially leases a vessel for a set period. It's all about understanding what the client needs, finding the right ship for the job, mapping out the routes, and thinking ahead about potential challenges.
Challenges, like what? Pirates.
Uh-huh. Well, maybe not pirates, but in the world of commodity shipping, those huge shipments of crude oil, grains, steel things can get pretty unpredictable.
In what way?
Well, the prices for shipping fluctuate all the time. You've got political stuff that can disrupt routes. And then there's the whole issue of environmental regulations. It's a constantly changing landscape.
Sounds like a lot to juggle.
It is, but KTB is really good at staying ahead of the curve. And get this, they even offer ice-breaking services.
Wait, ice breaking? Like for polar expeditions?
Well, that too, but it's a lot more than that. As global trade keeps growing, and with climate change opening up new shipping routes in colder regions, ice breaking is becoming really important.
Makes sense.
Yeah. KTB can source these specialized icebreaker ships. They can help other vessels navigate through icy waters, but they're also used for clearing paths for exploration, like oil and gas projects, stuff like that.
So it's like an essential infrastructure in those areas.
It is. And KTB's got decades of experience in this niche service, so they really know the ins and outs.
Oh, wow. I never would have thought of that. So from chartering to ice breaking, they do it all. What else?
Well, on top of all that, they help clients buy and sell ships too.
Oh, wow. So like the entire life cycle of a ship, pretty much.
Pretty much. That market is a whole other beast, though. Ship valuations, financing, you've got to factor in environmental regulations that can affect the value of older vessels.
That's complicated.
It can be, but KTB navigates it all. They're like masters of the shipbroking universe.
Uh-huh. Okay, I get it. They do a lot. But how does it all come together? Like, what's the big picture here?
Think of KTB as a conductor, bringing everything together in this big symphony of global logistics.
Okay, I like that analogy.
So they're not just connecting ships and cargo, they're developing these whole transportation strategies, making sure everyone's talking to each other, hammering out all the complex contracts, and even helping companies build partnerships within the supply chain.
That's wild. It's
Yeah.
way more intricate than I ever imagined.
It is. And the thing is, for us, the listeners, it all comes down to this. The next time you buy something, whether it's online or in a store, think about the journey it took to get there.
Yeah, that little made in label suddenly takes on a whole new meaning.
Right. Companies like KTB are the ones making sure those goods actually get across the world on time, reliably. And that ultimately impacts what's available to us and how much things cost.
So, shipbroking, not just about boats, eh?
Not at all. It's a vital part of how the world works.
It really makes you appreciate the whole global supply chain and how much we rely on it.
Here's something to think about. Next time you pick up your smartphone, consider all the places its parts came from. Maybe the lithium was mined in Australia, the chips made in Taiwan, and the whole thing assembled in China.
Wow.
And it all had to get from there to here somehow. And shipbrokers like KTB are the ones who made that happen.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it. So much goes on behind the scenes just to get us the things we use every day.
Absolutely. It's a fascinating world, and KTB is right at the heart of it.
Thanks for taking us deep on this.
Anytime.
Well, that's a wrap for this deep dive. Until next time.